Hello everyone, and welcome to this video series, which we hope will help you understand SAP's public cloud offering, nowadays known as SAP Cloud ERP. I'm Andrew Casey, and I'll be your host for this series, which is brought to you by Leverage Technologies, a 20-year SAP partner specializing in ERP solutions. I want you to start today by imagining a better functioning world where great outcomes are enabled by great technology. SAP delivers this world-class technology to bring about those great outcomes via Cloud ERP. Now, I'm going to concentrate at the moment just on the Cloud ERP portion, but I want you to have a look at this diagram and see that the entire SAP Business Suite is much more than just the Cloud ERP. There are applications specific for financial management, for spend management, to enhance your supply chain functionality, to deliver your human capital management, to do the customer experience, all of the sales and service aspects of CRM as we normally know it. Embodied around all of that are industry-specific applications to ensure that SAP meets your specific business needs. Overarching all of it is SAP's AI application, Joule, which has been built on the knowledge and information that SAP has of 50 years of building business solutions. Underpinning it, the SAP Business Data Cloud, where you can bring information from all of these applications and functions together, along with other third-party applications to ensure a cohesive view of the information that runs your business. And under all of that, SAP's Business Technology Platform to make sure that everything is nice and consistent. I'm going to just look at Cloud ERP, as I said, but if you want more information on any specific aspect of SAP's offering, or indeed the entire Business Suite, please reach out to Leverage Technologies and we'll be happy to assist. This Cloud ERP series is intended to cover the topics you see listed here today, with today specifically being an overview of the application and some of the capability, looking at look and feel, navigation, and reporting. Doing that so that when we look at the other series, or the other episodes, that you'll be able to see the information and understand how we're driving it, where we're going, and that you can report comprehensively on it. Today I'll take you through the user experience, show you how you can collaborate across the business landscape, and I'll also touch a little bit on AI, but given that I'm going to do an additional episode specifically on AI, I'll try not to steal too much of my own thunder as I go through the system. So before I start showing you the whole system on PowerPoint, I think it's probably a good time to move on because these are only supposed to be snippets. I want to move straight on to going into the live application for you for today's presentation. So let me just switch now to my actual live application of the SAP Cloud ERP. Pop out of my video and let's get into the actual live application. So as you can see, what I had on the screen a second ago is a screen capture. So this is SAP Cloud ERP. Obviously you can see it's running in the cloud as is very clear here. Browser agnostic, of course. You want to run it on a Chrome, Edge, Safari, on a Mac, go for it, no problem whatsoever. Works well on a tablet, has a reasonable amount of functionality in that whole area and totally capable for you. This is my home page, my launch pad. I call it my home, as you can see here. And this whole screen has been tailored for me. When I first logged on, I identified a particular role that I was going to use, and that role filtered the data that appeared on the screen. From there, as a user, I have been able to add additional information and I reorder any of this. So I choose to have the pages at the top, the apps in the middle, the tiles, and then the cards and the to-dos. But you can actually go through into your home settings and reorder all of these applications. I have a focus on finance. So I have put across here all of my main financial areas that I want to view. Now, if I was a manufacturing person, a sales procurement person, then I could change these pages to be a completely different set of pages. So you'll see down here, these are down the bottom here where finance is, as the pages that there's quite a few pages, aren't there, that I could choose from. So in here are the pages that I've chosen, and then I can turn around and turn off and turn on any other areas that I want to be at the forefront. You can have a maximum of 8 of them at any time, and as it says here, you can rearrange them, you can drag and drop them, you can have them as you want. Now, they will take me straight into an area of the system where there are tiles to actually run. So, for example, in this case, quick accounts payable, accounts receivable, various tiles to operate the application. Conversely, I can use the drop down off the top of the screen and I can get into the same areas throughout the system in that manner as well. Plus, I can have apps. And as you can see here, I can add apps. I can add tiles that I have here. Excuse me. You'll notice that I have numbered groupings here, because what I've done is I've taken, I have to do presentations of lots of the application. So I've taken the top 32, as it were, finance applications that I find that I use on a daily basis. And so I've put them into my finance grouping. I've created a sales grouping, manufacturing, inventory. I've created a master data. That's the way my mind thinks. If I want to do setting up things, if I want to make changes to data underlying on the system, I find it by going straight to my data, master data group, and those informations are presented to me. Makes it very easy for me to come in at the beginning of the day, straight after lunch, wherever you're coming back onto the system, and see data presented to you. Obviously, you have your most used apps, you have the apps that you've recently used, and you even have AI recommended apps that the system says, I believe this will be of worth to you, and you should add that to your groupings. So you can have as many of those apps in there as you want. The logical thing is to utilize your role and have the apps that those are, and just add 1 or 2 more. The idea being to have everything you need, but also not too much. As I said, you can have tiles, so any of these apps can be turned into a tile that is placed on your desktop to see at any given time. And you can have insight cards that are the KPIs that are critical to you. Again, you can turn around and change them. I've got 6 of them displayed at the moment. When I go into manage cards, you can see that you can have 10 of them at any given time, and there's 55 of them available to me. So if I turn around and go, just show me those, these are the cards that I've selected, but I can turn around and add additional cards that relate to how I do my job on a daily basis. I also have my alerts and my tasks, as we normally call them. So put down in SAP, they've called them tasks and situations. Again, everything is designed to be at your fingertips. When you then go into utilising an area within the system, let's say we'll go into the purchasing overview for the moment, we have the ability to access parts of the system. We have some of those insight tiles that are front and centre, and I can do an overview also of the particulars of purchasing. Now you'll see there's nothing to see right now. That's because this is my demo system, and it's not a complete operational system. Obviously, you would have potentially have a lot more data. And then when you have a look at any of these, they might have different ways that you can view that particular data. So you simply choose from the drop down, and it will refresh itself and show you the data in a different manner. So again, nice and easy to have everything at your fingertips. Now going back and then looking at a particular list application, list of purchase orders, for example, and going into a purchase order, just so you can see navigationally how I might utilize the system. So this is my list of purchase orders. I can choose any one of those and drill down into it and now see the data. In this case, it's an office desk for $500, for example, that is being purchased from my domestic supplier. I can edit that, I can copy it, I can see where it's up to. So I can see how much has been ordered, how much has been delivered, how much has been invoiced. So again, all of the way through, I can see that it's been raised, sent to the supplier, delivered, invoiced, simply by clicking on a link to identify the information. Again, designed to have the information at your fingertips. Whilst I'm here, I probably should have a quick look at the help. So you can go in here, and as you can see, I can do a look at what's this application. And SAP will take me straight to the help. This is the sourcing and procurement portion of the help, and then how to manage purchase orders. And it will go through telling me all about what I'm doing here, what I can use the app for, how to use it, the information, examples of how to, and as you can see, I'm just scrolling down the page here. There is a lot of information, and I'm just looking at that screen of managing purchase orders. So an awful lot of information available to you. I can hover over any one of these, and it will tell me about that particular function, that particular column or similar. I can have a look at some FAQs, which will take me into data sorted by SAP. On top of this, there is community as well that you can go and look up, but I'm just concentrating today on the information that's embedded within SAP's help system as such. So purchase orders in general, purchase order items, process control, approvals. So all of the information that you want to see and how things work, how can I modify it, why is this, can I do that, with the answers for all of those. And then having mentioned workflows, how to configure a workflow. SAP provides workflows out of the box, but then you can configure them yourself, how you can define your workflows, and if you want to, go and see how the flexible workflow for purchase orders functions. Closing the help for the moment and going back into my listing. Now, speaking about workflows, you have the fact that here you'll notice that all of these have been approved automatically. So let me go into my universal search and look for the app. So you can see I can choose how I'm going to search, but I'll search for my apps. And I'll do a search on workflow. And SAP will present to me all of the applications with regard to workflows. And you can see, workflows for requests for confirmations, central purchasing, payment agreements, in my case, purchase orders. And then you can have a number of workflows. They can be active for all time, as it were, or for a specific time. As you can see here, one for just a week, a couple of years ago. They might be a single line where it just releases the purchase order regardless. It doesn't have effectively a workflow there. Or it could have a multi-step workflow where it says, okay, it first of all has to go to the person responsible. It goes through workflow admin. It has to have a minimum value of $5,000. What conditions, what steps, what escalations do you want? SAP provides you a starter set out of the box, which will work immediately, but then you can actually copy and amend any of those workflows. Staying in the universal search for the moment, you can also do things like looking up details of transactions. For example, obviously this is one I've done before, and it will take me in, and that's a date, and on that date I did a supplier invoice which generated a journal entry. From my search, I can go in and display that supplier invoice, and it will take me straight into the invoice itself. And from there, I can do transactions such as reversing it. I can look at the audit control, the change log. I could have a look at the journal entries that make up that particular supplier invoice. When I do that, SAP can present it to me graphically. Just wait for the system to catch up a moment here. There we go. And you'll see the flow of what happened. So first of all, I raised a purchase order. Then from receiving, I did a goods receipt. The invoice was received, which generated the journal entry we saw a minute ago, and it's waiting for the clearing. So it's all color-coded. Everything's green. It's done. It'll have red if there's a problem. It'll have amber if it's yet to be done, and so on. So you can see that. And from each of these, you can go down into the system so I can see information regarding the supplier invoices. But if I went to the purchase orders, then I'll see information regarding purchase orders. So it depends on what type of transaction it was as to what the system will link straight to there from you. Should there have been an attachment on any of these, then the copy of the purchase order, the invoice, the image, whatever it may be, will have been attached to that as well. So very, very capable way of getting the data to you in a visual, easy to use, easy to follow. Doesn't take a lot of training for someone to pick up how to use the app, because all you do is start clicking on the button and say, let's go into that particular function, please. And it will load that function for you. Okay, let's get into this purchase order. Let's drill into information around any of these as you need. So that's how the system operates functionally. In one of the other episodes, I'll probably do some actual transactions. But for today, I just wanted to give you a look and feel of how you might drive the application. And then let's move on to the actual reporting side of things. ERP systems are notorious for being able to ingest information but not be able to get it out. So I want to show you a couple of the ways that SAP makes that extremely easy for you and usable. Let me go into a list and show you my products in my product master. So in here, I have a number of products in my product master. I can scroll through it as much as I want. And as you can see, I have several products in there. And the data that's being supplied to me is based on these filters at the top of the page. So I'm looking at everything that is in the system. I can create draft articles, and then I can see that, what's being held by me, where it's being locked by another user. I can choose a particular product or a number of products, and it will add them all together for me. I can do searches based on that. I can see that I can define conditions that I want to do. It contains this value, but doesn't contain this value, and equals, and you can see what's included, what's excluded. So you have a whole means of sorting and filtering based on the description, based on the barcode number, the product group, etc. You also have the ability with these filters across the top here to adapt them. Now you'll see that I only have these, 6 or 8 up the top here. There are over 150 other filters. So I can turn around and say, I want to turn around and look at these based on the expiry date. I want to look at it based on its hazardous material number. I want it based on its, its height, weight, width, length, whatever you want, the manufacturer's part number. And when I do that, then it will add those filters onto the top of the screen. And so you see here now my delivery unit measure, my expiry date, my hazardous material number. It's actually going to sort and filter based on those. I'll take those 3 off for the moment, just so I have my standard system. You can see the arrows, so I could actually move division. So that makes the division my first filter. And so you're actually able to go through and set up how you want to see the data. And that creates what's in the rows. If you have a particular way you like to filter that data, what's in those rows, you can actually create your own view where you turn around and go, oh, just show me everything to do with, and that's the view that you're going to get. And that may also be set as your default view so that when you log into this page or you open this managed product data at any time, it will automatically give you the DS version, the NM version, the PT version, or the standard version as I have set. And so you are able to identify how you see the data and therefore what's in those particular rows. Then you can go in and actually amend all of the columns as well. So as you can see here, I've selected 6 of the 109 columns. And so I can go in and add additional columns. So this is just a list of products that I'm able to change the filters to identify what's in the row, change the columns to see what's in the columns, and then when I'm ready to export that as Excel or indeed as a PDF. Okay, so I might just take that straight out to Excel for the moment. And it will, there you go, I have 513 items in my product master. And so it goes through and creates an Excel spreadsheet of those 513 items that I can then start doing what I want, supply to somebody, do some calculations on or similar. If I put quantities on hand and in here as well, maybe I can start to calculate quantities and values and things like that. So all lists are reports. So you saw me open sales orders, you saw me open purchase orders, I opened the journals, I opened the product master. Every one of those is a list. Every one of those can have the ability to change the filters for the rows and the columns on it and export that as either Excel or PDF. So out of the box lists, straight away, you have reporting capability. Obviously, there are also pre-built reports, such as the P&L, for example, P&L, balance sheet, all of those. Now, if I simply turn around, again, my filters are all editable, but I'll just run this report straight out of the box, and it gives me a quick analysis of my general ledger account, transaction currencies, global currencies if I'm using multi-currency situations, in this case US versus Australian, and potentially my columns. Now, I don't know about my measures. I don't know that I want the column for quantity, so I'll take that off. But I would like, I'd like the months. So let me take the calendar months. Let's see. Shall I put it as a row? So look, I should put it as a row or as a column. So as you can see here, I can do row or column. So you just click on it. You can click and drag it. And so you can specify whether you want it as a row. And if so, do you want that before or after? Or do you want it as one of the measures? in the columns, and it changes the way the screen looks for you. I don't want the general ledger account as well as the title, so I can go in here and change my display and say, look, I just want the description only, and it will hide the general ledger account, for example. As you can see, there are a number of sorts, hierarchies, drill downs, displays, totals I can get to. If I look at the filters themselves, for example, if I go here and I go, let's add another filter, then again, lots of filters that I can add where information about the application, information about the data in this standard report is served to me with the ability to add all of these parts of information into it. I can have a look at that graphically. I can take that data out. Again, I'll do an export as a PDF this time. And so out to a PDF, which font do you want? What font size do you want? Do you want to fit it to the page? Is it landscape, margins, all of that information? I'll just take the standard for the moment so you can see that it works. And then open that particular report. It gives me a header page, and then it gives me the details around everything. Formatted, all done for me. So every list can be filtered for rows and columns. Every report can be amended to be the way that you want it. If you get this to the specific way that you like the report, then you're able to turn around and save that particular report with your initials on it, a name on it, and that's how it will be presented. So if I, for example, go here and say, look, just show me the standard P&L the way that I like it, then it will represent that report to me this way. So very, very good to get at the data and have it at my fingertips, be able to export that information, report on anything. Let me just go back to my home and do one last thing and talk to you quickly about customization. This is my third way of doing reports. So first way, lists. Second way, standard reports, which I can amend. Third way, custom views. So obviously you can do custom fields, you can do custom business objects. One would expect those to be available, of course, custom tiles as well as you need. But then you also have this custom data view application. So I've done some sales reporting options. So if I have a look at this particular one, for example, then I can go into the data behind here and I can see that I'm going to have data sources, parameters, elements, filters, and from there I could preview that particular data and it will go, all right, well, these are your selection criteria, your parameters. Yes, that would be fine. I'll run those. And then it brings me back the data. Now, this particular data set's been done to utilize for an API, but it could just as easily be a report. So you can use standard reports, custom reports, standard lists, tailor them all the way that you want. That's probably enough to get you getting a feel for what SAP ERP Cloud can do at the moment. So let's go back to my main screen, back into my PowerPoint just to finish off where we're at for today. So let me bring that up to here and we'll go in. And look, I just want to say, I hope you found today's presentation informative. I look forward to hosting more episodes in the series soon. I've been Andrew Casey from Leverage Technologies, and I wish you a good day.